I would be lying to you guys if I was not worried about this game. This Georgia Southern going down to Mobile, Alabama to play the Alabama Jaguars, it does get me a little worried. I saw what Georgia Southern can do throughout the season. Sometimes they play up to the best and then turn right back around, and then they look like a team that we don't know. So I'm really kind of, I'm all over the place with this. But we're going to talk about this because South Alabama can be had. We can win this game, but we just don't know what team that South Alabama is going to show. Just like Georgia Southern, we kind of don't know what team that's going to show. So we're going to talk about this and give you my thoughts and opinions on this preview. Hopefully, you guys have had an amazing week. The week was awesome for me, and it is time to sit back, watch some football. I'm also going to go see and hang out with some family, so that's cool as well. You know how it goes. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So Georgia Southern, South Alabama. Georgia Southern is 5-3. They're actually first in the Sun Belt still after all of this has been going on against Old Dominion. And South Alabama, I think they're like third in their conference and on the side of them. Yeah, they're like third. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. I want to apologize. No, they're second in the Sun Belt West. So they're second in the Sun Belt West, sitting at 4-4. Both of these teams are fighting for position. Definitely Georgia Southern, because Georgia Southern has, need to keep up with Old Dominion after they're lost that game. And looks like they're going into a situation where it's very hostile, playing at night, going up against a South Alabama team that could put up points. When they win games, they win fairly big. I mean, the three of their four wins was when they scored 46 or more points. And in one game, they scored over 85 points. So this team, with their running game, we have to find a way to stop them. And the way to stop them, in my opinion, is to try to stop the run. Because their last game, when they played against ULM Monroe, they ran for almost 330 plus yards. And I'm not sure if this is going to be the actual blueprint for them going forward, because their quarterback can run the ball, can throw the ball as well. Very, very efficient as far as, the way that he can throw the ball. I think he's like 13 touchdowns, one interception. And for us, we have to find a way to get these guys off the field. We cannot have these guys going, two guys running for over 100 yards. That is something that we cannot, sustain. And if anything, we would like our running backs to do that and keep them on the sideline. And, they like to stop the run too. I think they're like first in the Sun Belt of stopping the run, as well as, number one in the run. They have like, great players on their team, and it shows. I mean, you don't go around here going into App State, even though App State is having a down year, and beat a team 48-14. ULM Monroe, a team that has been on the rise this year, actually was the first team to beat James Madison this year. They just, beat them around like there was nobody, especially in the second half, where they basically scored 34 unanswered points, beating them 46-17. So this team has every type of, weapon that you would want to see in any team. You got two good running backs. They got a pretty decent passing game, and they have no problem throwing points on the board and having you basically at the mercy of trying to play catch up. Now, Georgia Southern had an issue with that last game against Old Dominion. Ended up getting blown out. I think it was like 47-19. And for us, this is something that we cannot let happen again. I already talked about this earlier this week. We got to get back on the winning track. We don't want to fall or have a free fall like we did the last two seasons. And when that happened, everybody was in disarray. We're losing last 6 games, 5 out of 6, or whatever the case may be. And everybody was like ready to look at Coach Clay Helton like, look, you sure you want to stay around, because you need to turn something around. And this is how it's going to be. We just got off a 3-game win streak, and we lose to Old Dominion, and I have my reserves. I'm really, I'm somewhat worried, because I know this team has all the tools to beat anybody in the Sun Belt. They actually have some tools to beat some Power 5 teams, Power 4 teams, but they just got in their way against Old Dominion, and you saw, what transpired. Now, when you're going up against a team like a South Alabama, who can actually put up numbers, got solid receivers, and two good running backs, you have to be on point when it's time to play this team. There's no other way around it. And I just wish that Georgia Southern could get on the ball and make it happen, because this team is not a bad team at all. And that's what makes it so frustrating because you know you have a good team and you know you have a really good, solid core, on all sides of the ball, whether it be the running game, the passing game, even when it comes to the offensive line, the defense is pretty solid. But for some reason, the last game we were just way out of place and we were never able to be on point as far as keeping up with Old Dominion. That cannot happen again. You got two guys for South Alabama that's already rushed for over 500 yards. So, like I said, this is one thing. You're going to have to stop the run, force them to pass the ball, get them in a shootout with us, and hopefully we'll be able to complete some passes as well and put some points on the board because 19 is not going to be enough. You see what Georgia and Southern can do when they're on point. Georgia Southern can put up 40, 50 points if need be. South Alabama can do the same. So you can't just sit here and be like, okay, we're going to be content with just putting up, 30, 24. Like the last couple of games, we put up 38, 24, and 28. You can't just be content with that. If you're going to be content with that, you're going to have to stop what South Alabama does. And with them playing at home and what they just did to ULM, you kind of like, you're just kind of worried that it doesn't spiral out of control. This is one game that you can win this game and possibly be on a roll to win the rest of the season because the rest of the games are much more winnable than the game that you're playing now against South Alabama. You got to take care of business, and if you can do that, we will be in a very good position. But you got to get over this hurdle, and to be honest with you, I feel this probably may be a make or break situation for Coach Clay Helton and company because the last thing you want to do, in my opinion, really, you don't want to lose this game. And if you do lose this game, you're going to have to win out to basically appease everybody. Appease the masses. Because some people will still be content, but you're going to have to at least win out. I think personally, this may be a situation where you go 3-1, lose South Alabama and win the rest. That will put you at 8-4, which is fairly decent. But with the conference on the line, you would want to win every single game now. And if you want to go to a conference championship and bring home a trophy, that would be really awesome if you could do that. But as of right now, a lot of us fans are scratching our heads because South Alabama looks pretty good. And what they've done to their other opponents, you don't want to be on that side of the list as well. You want to be on that list that won, that beat them out of like the other four teams that beat them so far this year. So it gotta be a situation where it's almost like a must win. This is almost pretty much like a must win. You gotta win this game. You don't want to be down 3-2 in the conference. You'd be 5-4. And then it's just gonna look ugly at the end of the day. And then when you go back, and then if the Old Dominion is still with one loss in the conference, you're gonna sit there scratching your head like, "Dang, what could have been if we would have took care of business when we was in Norfolk, Virginia?" Or what could have been if we would have just at least, stayed on point and handled the business that we have left. So it's pretty tough, man. They got us 6-point underdogs. And I don't know, man. That might be a pretty good spread to jump on because I think that Georgia Southern is good enough to cover. But Georgia Southern got to bring their game, man. They have to bring their A game. This is something that is really going to be detrimental if we don't win this game. But if we do win it, everything should be awesome and we should be able to run the table. So let me know what you guys think. South Alabama is coming probably like our toughest opponent for the rest of the season. The rest of the guys, I don't know, but every game is a must win and every team is formidable. But South Alabama has shown that they can put up points and they can dominate games. And you don't want to be on that end of the stick again. We just saw it last week against Old Dominion. Don't want to be there. So let me know what you guys think. I'm going to get up out of here. Hopefully we will be celebrating, but we'll see. All right, y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all take it easy. I'm out. Peace.